Hi guys, and welcome to another Talk Data video. In this video, I again want to talk about a common scenario you will encounter in your life as a data analyst. And I want to show you one way of solving the problem. So let's say you have two departments within the organization, and both of them have given you an Excel file. So let's say one department gives you an Excel file called person, and the other one gives you an Excel file for employee. So let's open these files. So here's what the person Excel file looks like. Okay, so it's got the first name, the last name, the gender, and the person ID, right? And then you have another department giving you an Excel file called the employee. Okay, so let's put this on the side one quickly and open up the employee file. Okay, so here we go. And this is how the employee table looks like. Or the employee Excel sheet looks like. So you have the employee ID, the title, the department, the salary band, and the person ID. So now what we want to do is we want to get data from both these files. Okay. So how do we do that? So there are various ways of doing that. One, of course, is using Excel itself. Okay. But let's assume that this is a problem that keeps cropping up many times, and what you want to do is you want to write a little function in, say, Python, and you just pass the files to this function and it spits out a merged file containing data from both these tables. So that's much easier, right? Rather than doing it multiple times using Excel, for example. Of course, you could write an Excel macro, but let's keep that aside for the moment. So in this video, I will show you how to do this using Python. So let's go and open up a Jupyter Notebook session. Alright guys, so here we have a Jupyter Notebook session. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to print my current working directory. So as you can see, I could type command line commands out here in the Jupyter Notebook. So here's my current directory, and let's change my directory. I'll go to the desktop. And let's list what files are there in the desktop. So I've got my employee file and my person file. Alright, so now I'm going to add these file names to variables. So I'll create a variable called f_employee, f standing for file name, and similarly for person. Right, so these are my file names. So the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to import the pandas package, and then I'm going to read the CSV file and store it into a data frame. So the DF stands for a data frame. Okay, so let's first read the employee file, and then we'll read the person file. All right. So now let's print these data frames for good measure. So here's my employee data frame, and let's quickly print the person data frame too. Okay, so now our problem has been translated. Now instead of merging Excel files, we're going to try and merge these two data frames, and I'm going to merge them on the basis of the person ID field, which is common to both data frames. So for that, let's use a function which pandas offers us. But before that, what I'm going to do is I'm going to write down where my output file will be written. So R standing for a raw string. So I'm going to write my output file to the current directory, and I'm going to call the output file person_emp. Okay, so now let's use the merge command. So I'm going to use the pandas merge function, sorry, not command, function. I'm going to merge the two data frames. How? It's going to be an inner join as compared to an outer join. So it's going to be an inner join on what? On the person ID field, and for good measure I'm going to sort by the person ID column. Okay, oops, what's wrong here? Let's quickly debug. Okay, looks like it has to be in uppercase. Right, so let's quickly fix that, and there we have. And there is our output. Okay, so let's take a quick look, pause here, and just take a look, and if it looks okay, so let me just move the screen up a bit. Yeah, so that's looking fine. Great. So now what I'm going to do is, lastly, let's go pick this up and write this into a CSV file. So it's quite straightforward. So let's first see where we are. And as you can see, we have got two files out here, and I'm going to use the same merge command. But apart from that, I'm going to write it to a CSV file. And what's the file? I'm going to use the output file parameter. And I'm going to keep the headers in the file. Okay, so just no making mistakes with true. Great. Let's do an ls once again. And we can see our output file. And let's just open this output file and see what it looks like. Alright guys, so this is what our output file looks like. So as you can see, we have got all the ingredients in the Jupyter notebook to add them into a function and basically call this function as and when required. So I'm not going to write the function, but I request you to please go ahead and try doing so. So that brings us to the end of the video, guys. I hope you found it useful. These are little functions that one can use as a data analyst, and it makes life quite easy. If you have all these functions, the helper functions, maybe you can store it in your Git repository and use them as and when needed. So thanks a lot.